It's time. We're back. Welcome back to Right Path to Retirement, the podcast with financial advisor Jimmy Lynn, and I'm your co-host Doug Turnbull here. Get in touch with Jimmy and his team. Got to say that right away because I don't want y'all to forget. RightPath2Retirement.com, and you spell out the word too, okay? T-O, RightPath2Retirement.com. Get that complimentary consultation there. Serving in the Las Vegas, Nevada area and thereabouts. And also you can call them up, 702-805-7000. Jimmy, you're in the office today. We're over here spitting verbs about retirement, but how are things going in your life?
Things are doing well, Doug. Thanks for asking. Yeah, it's a fun time of year for the Lynn family because we're, I guess, not just the Lynn family, but pretty much the whole country is that you kind of enter into that holiday season. So That's a big thing for us with Halloween and then Thanksgiving and Christmas coming around for us. So we're in the opening stretch with Halloween, that being next week, where the Lynn household's doing a lot of decorating, getting prepared for our annual festivities. So that's keeping really busy right now.
Okay, so do y'all go more for scary or funny on Halloween, right? I mean, I know because there's this like funny scare. Oh, there's Casper the Ghost, or do y'all really like try to freak out your neighbors? Because you said this is a big deal for the whole neighborhood, right?
It is. So traditionally, we were pretty safe with the inflatable witches and things like that. But I've seen, and I have a neighbor 2 doors down, that they basically, it looks like they got all of their decorations off of a movie set of like Friday the 13th, because they got all the characters out, and my son can actually see their house from his room, and he says it freaks him out.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of the way. He's 14.
Oh, whoa, okay.
But that's the thing is, I think that's kind of a big trend now, and I like it. So I'm going to slowly get pieces and build up my inventory and shift away from the inflatables, because I like the horror picture vibe a little better now.
The horror picture vibe. Okay, well, that's good. We definitely don't want to freak anybody out about their retirement there, but it is fun to get that way at Halloween. And you brought up a good point before you talked about the decorations there. Is the holiday season is really compressed now, starting at Halloween, it seems like. Before it was Friday after Thanksgiving, and that seems safe, about 1 month lead up to Christmas. But now it seems like with Halloween less than a month before Thanksgiving, the commercial gears that make this country run have managed to tie those together.
Oh yeah, you can get a Christmas tree at Costco in August now, right? And so and I think the Halloween costumes start going in July. So it's crazy, right now. But that's the engine that makes this country run.
Does Costco sell like a 6-pack of Christmas trees? Like, do you buy Christmas trees in bulk? Do you?
That'd be helpful, because at this point, I think we have 3 Christmas trees in our house, so it would be helpful to buy it in bulk.
Okay. I'm going to take that down.
You got to talk to my wife about all that.
So I've got one small Christmas tree. That's it. Well, Casey Biddy, who's our co-podcast host here at Impact Partnership, she's eating a huge bowl of candy corn as we speak right now. She said that's her favorite candy. So, and she's got leftover from last year. Can you believe that? Isn't that crazy?
Very underrated candy.
See, I think so too. I think candy corn's good, especially like a small little bit, like not a bunch. It's good. But hey, let's jump in today, because we're going to go from Halloween right into some financial initials here. There's so many we can do: IRAs, and 401ks, and QCDs. But one in particular here that we're going to jump into today is an RMD. And I'd like for you to describe what that means, just basically what that is, and then what people have to look for in retirement with an RMD, because I haven't had to think of one.
Yeah, perfect. Well, no one can avoid it, or you don't want to avoid it, because if you're avoiding it, that means you didn't do well saving for retirement. But the RMD, it stands for Required Minimum Distribution. And I always tell people in our seminars, if you don't have a tax plan, and I think I've said this before on the podcast, if you don't have a tax plan, you don't have to worry about it, because the IRS has a tax plan for you, right? And that's what this is the RMD. But as I always state, if you have your own tax plan, it's typically going to be in your favor. If the government has a tax plan for you, I've never seen a government plan that didn't favor them. So what the RMD essentially is as we're diligently saving for retirement, oftentimes we're saving in tax-deferred retirement accounts. So think 401k, TSP, 403B. And these are
The
accounts
traditional
where,
IRA is another one, right?
correct, traditional IRA. And these are all accounts that when we make contribution to those during our working years, it actually reduces our income that we're taxed on. So it gives us a pretty nice tax break. And all the growth that we experience over a 20 or 30-year period in these retirement accounts, it's all tax deferred. So you're not taxed on any of the gains, any of the, if you do any trades like that, you're not, there's no taxation on it. It's all deferred, but it's not avoided. What happens is that essentially when you start distributing those monies out in retirement as your income stream, it's going to be taxed at ordinary income rates. The trouble with that, not trouble, but there are some people in retirement where they may have saved $500, $1 million in their 401k, but they're not really
500,000 or $1 million.
500,000, yeah, correct.
There's someone with 500 million, but I don't know them. Okay, so
nor do I. So these people, they may not need that money. If you think about it, there are a lot of retirees where they may have paid off their house. They're a married couple. They both are pulling Social Security, maybe a small pension, and they don't have a huge need for additional income. So those retirement accounts, they're just building up value in them. Well, the problem is what is kind of building up is a tax bomb, because the IRS, this country runs on tax revenue. And they know that this money is being built up and eventually it's got to be distributed out. So that's where the government's plan for you starts to take place, which is the required age in which you have to start taking money out, and you have to continue to take money out once it starts for the rest of your life. And that's what the RMD is.
So that is what that is. And then there's different qualifications. So this isn't something, myself as a person in their 30s, we're not worried about it. We just have our retirement accounts and they're doing what they're doing right now. But on the ones that you didn't pay taxes on during your working career, when you just save that money tax-free, you start having to spout it out or start taking it out so the government can finally collect the taxes that you didn't pay in 20 years before, or whatever it was. So when are these thresholds? Because there's times you can start doing it, and then there's times you absolutely have to. And I'm sure there's certain trap doors that open if you don't do that the right way.
Right. So you can start taking money out of these accounts, in most cases after 59 and a half without any type of penalty. Now, when you're taking money out, as we've said in the past, it all counts as ordinary income, which, has its own implications as far as causing phantom taxes on things like your Social Security income and creating some penalties with Medicare Part B. So that's what happens as far as pulling money out. And you can start doing that usually by 59 and a half. Now, when you have to take it out right now, it's age 73 for most people who would be listening to this. So by age 73, if you haven't started taking money out, or if you haven't started taking enough money out, now you have to start following the government's plan. So the year that you turn 73, by the following April 1st, you have to have taken out your first distribution. And so the way they calculate that, it's basically based on your life expectancy. The government, they put out a chart. It's called the Uniform Lifetime Table. But what it does is you see your age from the previous year or the current year. You'll see your age, and that will tell you what you have to divide by. So as an example, if you were 73 in 2023, I believe in 2024, you have to divide by, let's say, 25. Essentially, it starts at right under 4% of the account value you have to start taking out. And then every single year, it gets incrementally higher. So by your mid 70s or even early 80s, you're taking out a significant chunk out of those accounts every single year. And again, all of accounts as ordinary income. And that's where tax planning comes into play. Because if you're not careful and you have to start taking this money out in accounts as ordinary income, that's where it triggers a lot of those unintended consequences that we talked about earlier, like the phantom taxes and the Medicare penalties.
Well, so there's Medicare penalties. Can it affect how much you get in Social Security based on your new income level? And then I guess you're taxed as well. Like, let's say you're pulling different incomes in. Maybe you even have a part-time job in retirement. You talked about that, how your dad, was really successful, but then he realized he didn't have enough money when he retired and had to find out different ways to get income, right? So if you start having to do a required minimum distribution, then that could also bump up a tax bracket, correct?
Right, absolutely. So by taking out this RMD, it's just our ordinary income that's stacked on top of all your additional income. So that is what causes more taxation on your Social Security. So you may have Social Security that was not taxable based on your income levels, but now that you're having to pull this money out, it increases your reportable income, which can affect your Social Security. And then lumped on top of that, if you do have to get a part-time job, now it's most likely going to push you into a higher tax bracket, which would cause more of your RMD to be taxable. So that's why tax planning is so important, because with all these different moving parts, you can minimize some of these, what we call tax bomb, by actually having your own tax plan. So if you are forward thinking, if you're somebody in your early 60s, even late 60s, and you have several years before the RMD is going to kick in, you can do some proactive tax planning by shifting some of your assets around, maybe paying some taxes this year and next year while the tax rates are lower, and basically taking some of that money out of those tax deferred accounts. And that way, when those RMDs kick in, the balance is lower, which means the distribution will be lower. And then all those kind of other consequences will be minimized. And that's what we always look at with our clients when we're thinking about how do we manage that RMD.
So if you go to rightpathtoretirement.com, get with Jimmy and the Right Path to Retirement team, you get that complimentary consultation, folks. All right. So they can sit down for you. And when you say right path, there's the right path for each person, not the one right path that Jimmy Lynn says is the magic bullet to all retirement. Absolutely not. No, you have to do that questionnaire, Jimmy, right, with a client to make sure you know, okay, what do they have and where do they want to go?
Absolutely. When we sit down with each client, it's individualized analysis that we'll go through, and we can fairly accurately determine pretty quickly if that individual is going to be subject to some of these penalties with regards to the RMD, just based on their overall situation. So if someone comes in for one of those sessions, we can kind of guide them in at a high level what they need to be doing.
Well, that's exactly what needs to be done. There's so many ifs, ands, and what have yous and all of this, and you have to know what you have. And there may have been a rock that Jimmy and his team, y'all know what to pick up and look under that someone never would have thought of. One last short question here from someone like me who's done 401ks for pretty much my entire 20-year plus working career. Does it kind of depend on where you're going as to maybe when to stop doing a 401k? Because now I'm thinking 401k, man, I'd just rather pay taxes now and they're a little bit lower and I know what my money is instead of getting hit when I'm 73 years old. So Jimmy, like, do you recommend people take big or small steps when they're making those decisions? And is it really a case by case thing if they want to maybe pivot from doing a qualified versus a non-qualified or a tax or pre-tax account?
It definitely is a case-by-case basis, but I would say that having kind of a diversified bucket of money in different tax locations makes a lot of sense and gives you more flexibility in retirement. So in your situation, you may look at those Roth IRAs or Roth 401ks to put some of your money into as well. And you may have to pay some additional taxes right now, but you're going to be really thankful when you're in retirement and you have all this tax-free money.
That absolutely. We'll leave it right there on that. Look, Jimmy Lynn, folks, there's the classic rock song, the tax man, right? And you kind of get a bad connotation. No. Jimmy Lynn's the tax man. All right. He knows a lot of the ins and outs of the tax code and system. It can help you navigate that in the right way. That's most, I'm going to use one of your terms, Jimmy, tax efficient, right? That's
absolutely. I love it.
Wanted to move and groove there. So go to rightpathtoretirement.com. Key in for that complimentary consultation there. Jimmy, you also, even very recently have done several different seminars and live events. I'm sure this stuff comes up.
Number one topic every single time. People are really concerned about taxes because it's a moving target. It's the one thing that people just cannot get a handle of because the tax laws change all the time. And it's sometimes the easiest way to save money and have more money in your bank accounts.
There you go. With that, Jimmy, thank you so much for enlightening us today. Folks, rightpathtoretirement.com or in the Las Vegas area too, 702-805-7000. And Jimmy and his team will help you out and figure out the right path to navigating those taxes and getting to where you want to go in retirement. Now, on the next episode, we'll talk about estate planning, which I know has a lot to do with taxes too. But Jimmy, thanks again for your time, sir.
Perfect. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Hey, yeah, let's not get too freaked out by anything you just heard there. Again, rightpathtoretirement.com. Jimmy, Lynn, and his team can help. Thank you all for listening. We'll have that estate planning episode coming your way shortly.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business RightPath Wealth Management. RightPath Wealth Management is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by RightPath Wealth Management are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. RightPath Wealth Management is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained by sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by RightPath Wealth Management.